created to have some fun together, sharing and singing. So, join and enjoy.
Our love for opera brings us together. Thanks for being with us in this trip.
This is not the first time that I talk about Andrea Chenier. This is not the first time that we talk about Un dia l'azzurro spazio. And I still feel like I could repeat it 100 times and insist and go back and back again. And I feel that this could just never be enough. We are talking in Andrea Chenier, we are talking about a poet. At a moment in time, I call him a soldier, a warrior poet who fights to defend what he believes in. And in his opening aria, also known as l'improviso, Un dia l'azzurro spazio, Andrea Chenier shares with us what, what he feels, what he loves, what he likes, and pretty much what is going to happen later. This is our following episode of the music that I would take to a desert island. Of course, I would take this aria that opens molto piuttosto recitativo. Colpito qui m'avete, ovvio geloso cielo, più puro palpitar dell'anima. Or vedrete fanciulla qual poema è la parola amor. Qui causa di scherno. Here, Andrea Chenier is in a party where all the aristocracy is joining to have fun. Um, all the banality that has described in the past, and for what we can see in recent news, continues to define what life at royalty is like. While still many suffer of hunger, of poverty, there is still this group of people who like to have it all. And so, Mr. Chenier, Andrea is out of place because everybody else there, except for the servants, everybody else there has some role at the aristocracy, at la bourgeoisie. Remember that we are days before the French Revolution. So the opening words really mean something. Colpito qui m'avete, ovvio geloso cielo, il più puro palpitar dell'anima. You have touched me here, where I am so proud, so jealously keep all this that I feel in the deepest of my soul. Those heavy, very direct words, very upset that he is by seeing all the banality that these people have. But as he turns his face and looks at Maddalena de Coigny, he says, Or vedrete fanciulla, qual poema è la parola amor, qui causa di scherno. But now you will see, beautiful girl, what a poem love is as a word. A word that here it's only for people to mock. And so this is how it starts. I'm going to be sharing with you today two recordings that I found thanks to the channel Opera Turkiye. If you have gone through all the materials that I have shared in the past on the YouTube channel, we talked about this series of recordings that this channel put together on the Un dia l'azzurro spazio, comprised of many great, incredible, amazing tenors who are not, Del Monaco, Corelli, Pavarotti, the same tenors of always. He puts together a very, very interesting list of singers, and it is from here that I chose two that I am going to be sharing with you today. So we will hear in the first place to the great tenor Daniele Baroni singing this improviso from Andrea Chenier It is a recording that comes from his days in the past because the recording that I am using from YouTube, in fact, he's at the age of 62 or 82. He's already at an advanced age, and this is pretty much a playback, but it is very, very, very interesting recording to watch and more interesting recording to hear. So let's see how our warrior poet gets so upset at the banality of people and then turn to Madalena to tell her what love is about. One of the most difficult arias ever written for a tenor.
Colpito primavera, ovvio geloso cielo, il più puro palpitar dell'anima. Or vedrete, fanciulla, qual poema causa di scherzo. Un Dio all'azzurro spazio guardai profondo e ai prati calavi di viole pioveva allora il sale e folgorava il mondo pare alla terra un immane tesor e l'isferativa di scrigno il firmamenta su alla terra alla mia fronte veniva una carezza viva, un bacio, gridai vinta d'amore.
God. Oh my God. What a tenor is Daniele Barioni. We could appreciate the voice of a tenor who clearly was trained in the old. Um, by old, I don't mean ancient or not important. On the contrary, I mean on the excellent technique that was taught earlier for singers. He clearly does a great job. As you could hear, this was a live recording of Mr. Barioni. Unfortunately, as it is the case with many other great singers, he was never uh, uh, no recording company was interested in him. He had companies usually choose a few bunch of singers, they promote them, make thousands millions of dollars, making people believe they are the best while they are keep making lots of money. But singers like Daniele Barioni are just so out of this world, and I would like to thank again to the great channel Opera Turkey, because without him putting together all these singers, I could have never learned of this maestro, great singer, great tenor Daniele Barioni. But now let's get down to the business, because there is so many things that I want to share with you today. Uh, of course, this has to be part of the music that I would take to this desert island, because, as I have said, with all the others, I could listen to them 100 times and I would never be tired of it. In particular, this Un dia l'azzurro spazio is a tour de force. It's so demanding for the tenor. To start with, it's at the beginning of the opera. So even if the tenor has warmed up his voice, he could still be more if it is his first presentation, if it is the complete staged opera, and he's not very aware of the acoustics of the place, and there are many things that the singer needs to evaluate to make sure that he's doing what he wants to do with his job, with his voice. When it is a recital or a concert, well, you never put it at the first number of it. It could be at the middle or closer to the end. Once you feel comfortable also with the acoustics, you feel the public is now comfortable. You will also feel comfortable with the pianist or the orchestra. So there are several tricks there. But no matter where you put it, it is always a tour de force, a very difficult area in to open. Remember that he, very upset, has said, colpito qui m'avete, ovvio geloso cielo, il più puro palpitar dell'anima. He's so upset at the banality of people. Then, as I explained earlier, he turns to Maddalena de Coigny and says, or vedrete fanciulla, qual poema è la parola amor. Qui causa di scherno. And it is between this scale of emotions that the complete aria is going to develop. There are vocal challenges. It is long. It is for a very well developed voice tenor. It is a tenor with a minimum of good technique, because otherwise there is no way he can get away with it. And moreover, for a great performer, for an artist who understands what he's going to be saying. He's going to start the aria by saying, un dì all'azzurro spazio guardai profondo, e ai prati colmi di violi pioveva loro il sole e folgorava d'oro il mondo. Parea la terra un immane tesor, e a lei serviva di scrigno il firmamento. A day that I watched the immense deep blue sky, and I saw i prati, the lands all covered in violets, and the sun shining over them, and the whole world was as if it was gold. It seemed so golden, and the land, the air, seemed to be an endless treasure. E a lei serviva di scrigno il firmamento, and the sky was as if it was covering all this immense treasure. So try to picture in your mind this very sensible soul, because he's an artist, he's a poet. Think of this poet standing in front of the lands. Maybe it's just uh, a season where there are rains, so everything is green and there are violets and there is a and that special day it's a clear day, so there is this blue sky, the land covered with violets, the sun shining all over them, and from out this shining you think, oh, this looks like a treasure, and the sky above is taking care of that treasure. That's how the sensibility of Andrea Chenier is. Su dalla terra alla mia fronte veniva una carezza viva, un bacio, grida hai vinto d'amor, t'amo tu che mi baci, divinamente bella, o patria mia, e voli pien d'amore pregar. Varcai di una chiesa la soglia, la un prete nelle nocchie dei santi e della Vergine. And that is the part where everything starts to change the mood. Now we are going to be listening to the recording by another great tenor that I also learned from in the same recording, the same video from Opera Turkey. Tenore Angelo Mori is immense. He doesn't have a heavy um, spinto or dramatic voice, but look at what he can do with his resources, the excellent technique, and the magnific artist that he is. Because he is also another tenor that could not be, or that not many people recognize. Again, because too many people pay too much attention to the same singers. This recording is from year 1968, live in Genova.
Colpito fui malete, oh mio geloso cielo, il più puro palpitar dell'anima. Or vedrete, fanciulla, qual poema, bella parola, amor, qui causa di scherno. Un dia l'azzurro spazio guardai profondo, ai prati colmi di fiore, pioveva l'ora il sole e folgorava d'oro il mondo.
Sorry to interrupt it there, but since it is going to be happening several times throughout the whole aria, I want to call your attention to that. I was saying that this is tour de force. It is true that it develops around the center of the tenor voice, but I have also explained that singing too often in a certain area of the voice is usually very tiring. And this is the case because he comes from Prati colmi di viole, pioveva l'oro e il sole, e folgorava d'oro il mondo. Even so, it is not a super immense volume it is way too continuous. Di viole pioveva l'ora del sole folgorava d'oro. Even though it is not a very high note, it is very tiring because it comes after a continuous flow of notes somewhere between the central C for the tenor and the fa within the do and the fa. So do, re, mi, fa have been way too continuous. And if you have noticed, Maestro Giordano, the author, the great Maestro Giordano, the author of Andrea Chenier, has not been generous in giving enough pauses. Once the tenor starts singing, he continues singing with very, very, very unfrequent pauses.
Pare alla terra un immare tesor, e a lei serviva di scrigno il firmamento.
And this is one part that many people, because everybody's always waiting for the for the high note, say, oh, the si bemol is coming at the end. But what has just happened here, I was just explaining that the tenor starts to get tired because of the frequent use of notes between the C and the F. Il mondo pare la terra un'immanente sor, e a lei. Then comes serviva di, rises, scrigno il firma. Of course, I am doing it cut, but just to remark for you to pay attention to how many syllables and sounds the tenor has to change. Scrigno il firmamento, and the tenor has to sound steady, continuous. So many times we have heard tenors that go scrigno il firma, almost about to break when they mento, because it is hard. It is not only that I am saying they are poor tenors. The truth is that this is very hard. And Angelo Mori is doing this just great. So he has reached the part where he mentioned that the sky is like the one covering the whole treasure, and we're moving to the part where he says, su dalla terra alla mia fronte veniva una carezza viva, un bacio, grida e vinto d'amor, t'amo, another very difficult part, t'amo tu che mi baci, divinamente bella, oh patria mia, e voli pien d'amor pregar. Su dalla terra alla mia fronte veniva una carezza viva. And I feel like the earth itself is caressing my own front head. A sweet kiss that says, grida e vinto d'amor. And I shout, so overwhelmed by love. I love you. I love you, you, the one that is kissing me. So he says, I love you, earth. I love you, ground, for giving me such a kiss. Divinamente bella, oh patria mia, e voli bien d'amor pregar. You are so divinely beautiful, oh patria mia. I think everybody understands that. It is also a very common phrase in Italian. My land, patria mia, e voli pien d'amore pregar. And that's when I said, I'm going to a church. I want to go and pray to show my appreciation for all this love.
Su dalla terra alla mia fronte veniva una carezza viva, un bacio, gridai vinto
The difficult part, si bemol. Before this final part and explanation, it is not only that there is a si bemol, do. Again, notice that we are going again in the range of the between the C and the F continuously for the tenor. T'amo tu che mi baci divinamente bella, o patria mia. And the voice of the tenor has to be steady, firm. And that's what we have heard in Angelo Mori.
E volli pien d'amore pregar, varcai d'una quieta la soglia.
So, since I wanted to go to a church to pray, to thank the land, my country, for all the beauty, I crossed and I entered a church. Là un prete nelle nicchie dei santi alla Vergine accumulava doni e al sordo orecchio un tremulo vegliardo invan chiedeva pane e invano stendea la mano. Varcai degli abituri l'uscio, un uomo vi calunniava bestemmiando il suolo che l'erario appena sazia e contra Dio scagliava e contra gli uomini le lagrime dei figli. In tanta miseria la patrizia prole che fa? The mood has changed rapidly. And now we listen again to the Chenier that is upset. He was overwhelmed by the beauty of the land and the violets and the kiss of land in his forehead. But as soon as he crosses and enters the church, he sees, of course, what we can see in a church. The saints and the Virgin and the knights and the priests, all of them with presents, because people, give things to the saints and the churches. E al sordo orecchio un tremulo vegliardo invano chiedeva pane. But an old man who could barely stand on his feet, in vain he begged for bread, and in vain he stretched his hands. And then I crossed. He says, Varcai degli abituri l'uscio. And now that I crossed the area of those houses, I saw how a man was, says, calunniava, bestemmiando il solo che l'erario appena sazia. While I have been thanking my land, this man is saying, calunnia, that's why he uses the word, saying that the land barely gives him what he needs. This man needs a lot more. This man wants a lot more. Che l'erario appena sazia e contra Dio scagliava e contra Dio e contra gli uomini le lagrime dei figli. And then against God and against the other men he threw the tears of his own children. He is so willing to have this much land that he speaks bad of his own land and of the other men and of God himself, and uses his own children for that purpose. This is the most dramatic part of the aria.
Un prete nelle nicchie dei santi e della Vergine accumula doni. E al sordo orecchio un tremulo vegliardo invano chiedeva pane e invan stende la mano. Varcai degli abituri l'uscio, un uomo scagliava bestemmiando il suolo che l'eraria appena sazia e contra gli uomini, le lacrime dei figli.
I would like to make a pause here because we know that provided that um, we are talking of days, or it is not expressively said how many days before the French Revolution, but we can clearly see the opposition or difference of life between those who have and those who don't. And Maestro Giordano puts, along with the libertist, of course, the words in here. It is not by chance that he chooses chooses Andrea Chenier as the man for the man for whom he would compose his opera. Maestro Giordano is sharing with us something that he believes in. He believes that there can be no place for banality for as long as there's people who can barely have something to it. And that's what makes this aria and the complete opera like it has been just written. You just need to watch the news to see what is going on now in several places around the earth. Uh, Many people who enjoy power, people who are still killing other people in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, in North America itself. We have also shared in the past that because of there's always been restrictions. This has been composed, but to be presented, many of the attendants would be the bourgeoisie, people with money themselves in the opera houses where they are presented, but there is always censorship. And even knowing that, Maestro Mozart dared to criticize and express his point, veiled somehow, but still expressed his point in how these things were going. We have also expressed the same on Maestro Verdi, who also criticized many things that were happening. And here in Andrea Chenier, we have another page where the author is stating what he feels about this situation. And of course, it is a tremendous drama. And after this tremendous drama, the aria goes in con tanta miseria la Patrizia prole, che fa? Sol'occhio vostro esprime umanamente qui un guardo de pietà. As he has described this horrible scene of people who need to beg to get at least a piece of bread. Everybody remember that Andrea Chenier is not in the right place in the middle of the Le Bourgeoisie, aristocrat Paris. So people really don't care, and I taking a look at, what is this man talking about? We are here to enjoy what we have, not to talk about the poor. And he knows that, and that's why he addresses his words and his looks to Madalena de Coigny once again, and says, "Only, only you. It is only you, Madalena, who can express compassion." And that's why when I saw you, I thought you were an angel. E dissi, ecco la bellezza della vita, ma poi alle vostre parole un novelo dolor m'ha colto in pieno petto. So my words to you, for you, that I think you're an angel, it's look at the beauty of life. But by then, and before your words, a new pain has hurt in my heart. Oh, Giovinetta Bella, you beautiful girl, please do not disdain the words of a poet. Listen, udite, non conoscete amor, amor divino dono, non lo schernir del mondo anime vita e l'amor. Don't disdain these words of a poet. Listen, don't you know what is love? Love is a divine gift. Don't make a mock of it, because love is the soul and the life that guides the world.
In cotanta miseria la patrizia frode che fa solo occhio vostro esprime umanamente qui un guardo di pietà ond'io guardato voi siccome un angelo vedisti ecco la bellezza della vita ma poi le nostre parole un novello dolor ma colto in pieno petto giovinetta bella d'un poeta non disprezzato il detto udite non conoscete.
I am pausing it there because he has just said non conoscete amor, and I would like you to notice how he's going to say the first amor and then he's going to go as high as his si bemol, but look at how with a perfect continuous note he ascends to his top note. This is just incredible. And it is going to be the phrase "el amor." Many tenors many times have problems because it is easier at the end when you wrap up with a much higher note, something between an F and then A. It's way more comfortable than wrapping up in a D. It's way too close to the center, so the position of the voice of the tenor is more, 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 and the tenor tries to find a way on how to give it enough pasta without sounding too weak and without getting too tired. And this final amor is sometimes a more difficult way to wrap up rather than the si bemol before and in the middle of the aria. And I think you're going to see Angelo Mori does it. Wow. The correct amount of time without exaggerating, without doing that horrible amor, that horrible sound that we have explained so many times. This is the art of Angelo Mori. As you know, we are going to wrap up today's program. Thanks now, without my voice and my interruptions, but I think I have explained pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. I think you will agree with me that Un dia l'azzurro spazio is such an amazing aria, not only for its beauty, for its technical challenges, but also for the message it carries that unfortunately for the world that we humans have created seems to have been written just like yesterday.
Colpito qui m'avete, oh mio geloso cielo, il più puro palpitar dell'anima, or vedrete fanciulla, qual poema, bella parola amor, qui causa di l'azzurro spazio guardai profondo, ai prati colmi di fiore pioveva l'ora il sole e folgorava d'oro il mondo, pare alla terra un immare tesor, e a lei serviva di scrigno il firmamento. Su dalla terra la mia fronte veniva una carezza viva, un bacio, gridai vinto d'amore t'amavo, ma tu che mi fossi divinamente bella, oh, oh, via mia. E volli pien d'amore pregar, varcai d'una chiesa la storia, da un prete delle nicchie dei santi e della Vergine accumulato e al sordo orecchio un tremolo vegliardo invano chiedeva pane e invan stende la mano. Varcai dagli abituri l'uscio, un scagliava bestemmiando e spara, che l'aria appena sassia e contro Dio scagliava e contro gli uomini le lacrime dei figli. In cotanta miseria la patrizia frode che fa l'occhio vostro esprime umanamente qui un guardo di pietà, ond'io guardato voi siccome a un angelo che dissi ecco la bellezza della vita, ma poi le vostre parole un novello dolor ha colto in pieno petto. O giovinetta bella d'un poeta non disprezzato il detto, udite, non conoscete amore.
You can follow our channel for the latest updates and more content. Opera will love singing, in just one word. Link in the description of the episode.